had only 3 cardiac arrests so far. Old habits die hard, a newspaper under your arm. Many of you who live in North Norfolk, and where else is there to be, will realise that this is a momentous week in local newspapers because our old friend Richard Batson moved on to pastures new after 23 years in charge of the news in Cromer and the Environs, including Sheringham on a dark day, and 40 years altogether in local newspapers. I think that's worth a round of applause. But even in this, his last week, he didn't get all the stories. You may have noticed 1 or 2 things now that weren't in the paper that should have been. A Sheringham man has written a strong letter of complaint to a local brewery following what he describes as daylight robbery in a raffle held for dedicated customers at his local pub. Mr. Dick Shepherd, a former policeman, thought he'd won a diving suit and simply would not believe the organisers when they told him, in fact, it was a divan suite. They get worse. Beeston Regis woman Elsie Snodgrass told members of the Golden Threads Club recently that she couldn't remember the last time she had cream rice. A consultant at Cromer Hospital, who works alone, was approached and he said Elsie was probably suffering from ambrosia. East Runton couple Arthur and Agnes Cutting celebrated their diamond wedding recently with a ride in a landau along Great Yarmouth Golden Mile. They say next time they'll attach it to a horse. They met in a revolving door at a holiday camp in Munsley and they've been going around together ever since. Veteran melodeon player Eddie Bailey has finally graduated with honours from the Upper Sheringham Academy for gifted youngsters who never quite make it. Eddie's progress was interrupted for 3 years when he thought he was studying Paganini, only to discover it was page 9. And finally, British gas engineer Brian Smallbone has carried off this year's Brain of Sheringham trophy at his first attempt. He was the only one to know that a fortification is 2 20fications. He also won top marks for erudite essays on such diverse subjects as concubine harvesters, paranoid cameras, and helter-skelter tablets, what go all frothy in the glass and draw one's backside up to one's elbows. He proved he was worthy of the title when asked to name a bird that couldn't fly. Brian replied, a roast chicken. Thank you.